Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of The Conversation. And in today's episode, I got a pretty interesting topic for you guys, and the topic is the funniest story that's ever been told in NBA history, starring Kevin Garnett and all the smoke. So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. And also be sure to check out this episode on the Dreamerspro Podcast, which we have linked in the description below, so you guys can go ahead and definitely check that out. So, why am I saying that this is going to be the funniest story in NBA history? Before I get into that, I got to give you guys a little bit of background. So as you know, since a lot of NBA players have retired and a lot of sports stars have retired, really, you see a lot of them going into media, okay? You see some of them going to work for major news networks like Fox Sports or ESPN. You can look at Kendrick Perkins. You can look at Shannon Sharp. So many other athletes find themselves on TV, right? And usually that's where a lot of them get their start before they start to make their way into the world of media, and then they may branch off into other things. But another thing that's become quite popular are podcasts, right? Podcasts have become so popular among, the sports world, and I mean in media in general, but especially amongst athletes, and where you see a lot of star players or just former NBA, former role players in whatever leagues, just out there interviewing other players. And some of them are more organized, some of them are more free flowing. And in this particular case, one of the more popular podcasts out there is called All the Smoke, featuring Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. Now, for some of you guys who don't know, and you just see Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, these guys actually played in the NBA for a pretty long time. Matt Barnes played for the Clippers. He played for the Sacramento Kings. He played for the Knicks. He played for the Golden State Warriors. He played for the Lakers. He played for so many teams. And the same thing with Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson played for so many teams: the New Jersey Nets, the San Antonio Spurs, where he won his NBA title. He played with the Golden State Warriors and Milwaukee Bucks, and he even played with the Clippers. And he was a champion in 2003. And Matt Barnes was a champion in 2017, I believe, with the Golden State Warriors or somehow, but he's saying he has his NBA championship in 2017. So these players have been in the league for a long time. And for them being in the league for a long time, what does that mean? They have a lot of relationships, right? And because they have so many relationships with so many of these NBA players, when they come on their show, it allows them to open up in a deeper level that maybe someone who never played in the NBA, maybe if I did a podcast, Marco and I did a podcast, they probably wouldn't open up to that level because they simply don't know me, so they probably wouldn't be as forthcoming as they would with these stars. So the All the Smoke show is a little bit different because on there, stars can come on and they can even curse, right? We don't curse on our channel, but on this particular platform, it works well. And it helps the hosts of the show sort of just be who they are, because it seems like they like to curse generally when they speak. So it just makes it more free flowing. And in this particular episode, they featured Kevin Garnett. Now, for those of you guys who may not know who Kevin Garnett is, maybe for a younger audience, Kevin Garnett was a beast when he played basketball. For his career, the dude averaged 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 3.7 assists, but he had some monster seasons in the NBA where some seasons he averaged like 24 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 2.2 blocks, 1.5 steals. I think Kevin Garnett was one of the best players that ever played the game. He won a Defensive Player of the Year award. He won the Most Valuable Player of the Year award in 2004. He was a 15-time All-Star, and he was also the All-Star Game MVP. He's been on, 9 All-First defensive teams, 3 All the second. So he's been on 13. He's been on 12 All defensive teams, and he's led the league in rebounding 4 separate times. So Kevin Garnett is one of the best players to ever play basketball. But what we didn't know about Kevin Garnett, what we knew about him on the court, that he was a really rah-rah guy, always in your face, always pumped up, always talking to his opponents, talking to himself. But what we didn't know was how funny he was. And on a particular episode on All the Smoke, Kevin Garnett proceeds to tell probably the funniest story in the history of the NBA. So before I go too far, let's take a listen to it.
What's your best MJ story?
Oh man, my best MJ. Well, one of my MJ stories was one of my favorite MJ story is, since this is out there. We in Chicago. It's my rookie year, second half of the year. You know how you're not caught on now, right? Now you got your little 1-2 moves, you getting them off right now. You got some confidence, right? So I'm in that. So I'm in the wave, I'm playing decent, I'm starting whatever, however. We get to Chicago. Ronnie was just in the bad crash. I haven't had no sleep, so I'm on a getting back to the go. I got about 70 people at the game, the hood in here. We all in here, right? So I'm just on one, but I haven't had no sleep. I'm just on like a, I come in here, man, and it was hard seeing my partner in the bed like that. He had a big ass halo around his neck, but he was such in good spirits, man. Phil, shout to Ronnie Fields, my
He still was dunking with that shit on too.
Listen, bro, he was dunking that motherfucker, doing the same dunks with the halo on his head, which is crazy. Anyway, I'm playing, right? But JR is having a good game. You know, JR Mike kind
JR
of
Ryder.
like JR Ryder, shout to JR Ryder, right?
Easy Ryder.
So I'm like, so as we come out the timeout, just I'm on, y'all. I can't even explain it. I was just like, keep killing that nigga, yo. Killing that nigga, boning him, yo, straight up. You having a good game, Joe. Keep going. But it was on some like just fly by, like he was like, yeah, you too. So as I'm walking off, the nigga right here, Mike can hear me, but I don't really give a fuck. So I'm like, so I double back like, yeah, man, keep killing that nigga, yo. You killing that motherfucker. So as I say that, I feel it. Hands on hips, legs locked.
Then look.
The nigga stabbed me for about 15 seconds.
You feel that?
So I start to feel it. There's two ways you can go in this. I can walk this off out like I don't even feel it and play it off and dummy out. Fuck that. Now I'm in here, I got turn this motherfucker on. So I'm on. Keep killing this nigga. Okay, keep it up. So I hear JR go, yo, all right, yo, fella, keep going, yeah, you too. So he's trying to get me off and over. I don't even, now that I recall it, he was trying to kind of
Back
just
you
get
off
off
a
and
little
over
bit.
it. So he go, so I double back, go, and get ready to say something. So he go, hey, look, Mike, he don't really know how I see him and Mike having a conversation. So he's like, he don't really know he excited, whatever. So now MJ on the back leg joint, he's
leaning on you.
Like,
Is
so
that right?
he said, okay, yeah, huh? I can't even really describe the next like 6 to 7 minutes of play, y'all. In this next 6 to 7 minutes of play, y'all, we get two 10-second calls. When you bring the ball up, you gotta
get across half
two
court.
10-second calls. We down 25 now. It was just at 2. Mike had 18. He had like 40 now. JR, myself, we ain't scored in like about 4 minutes. And I subbed like 3 of the starters. Like it's just finally flipped. It got bad quick, yo. I come to the joint and they know this. When you come and you've been on the run, when you not got back on the floor, got back, had to rebound, and you feel like you on defense all the time, you come to the bench like this. So I was like, JR, man, my bad, dog. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. He like, it's cool, man. I told you, just shut your ass up, man. You're not fun. So you got in between the Gatorade there where you like, damn, and next thing you know, we over there like this. And Mike came down. Okay, young fella. Okay, damn, young fella. Damn, y'all done? Damn, young fella. Never talk shit to Mike ever again in life. When I seen him at All-Star, apologize, man. I was fucking, man. I ain't never did it to nobody else, but I had that, man. Look, respect, man.
That's what's up. That's Mike, baby.
Then I apologized to JR. My fault.
Now, in that soundbite, you hear just how funny of a storyteller Kevin Garnett is. And to me, I've heard a lot of stories, but this right here probably has to be one of the funniest ones that I've ever heard. And I think the reason this story is so funny is because it's true, right? Because it's true, it gives the story more validity for the fact that Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson can sort of co-sign what Kevin Garnett was saying and say, yep, we've heard that. Yep, he's just like that. Makes it even more credible, which gives the story more meaning and therefore becomes even funnier. Secondly, the other thing we can take away from this story is, number one, never talk trash to Michael Jordan. All of you guys saw the Last Dance documentary, and you know that Michael Jordan will literally formulate stories in his mind about people saying things about him that they never said just to give himself a competitive edge. And this is one of those guys that you never do that. And if you try to do that, you're going to end up having a story that's pretty similar to that of Kevin Garnett, talking about his time when he trash talked Michael Jordan and how he never, ever dared to do it again in the history for as long as he played. So what I want to know from you guys is quite simple. Do you think this story is probably one of the funniest stories you've ever heard, an NBA story that you've ever heard, or do you think it wasn't that funny and you have a better story? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments. If you have a better story, please leave that story in the comment section so we can go and check it out. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.